Hey guys, welcome back to Angel Angela. And on this topic, I want to talk about how the narcissist recreates your reality. The narcissist recreates your reality, and it's a very dangerous game to be playing with these people. When someone is not healed from their traumas, when someone is angry for what others have done to them, when others are living in survival mode or in they're on fight or flight, they're very dangerous people because there's nothing that they will do to keep victimizing themselves, and there's nothing that there's no accountability for the things that they do, because a lot of times they look at it like their behavior is based on how people have treated them. They're like, oh, people have done these things to me, so I don't care that you think I did something to you. I don't care if you think I'm the narcissist, because a lot of times with narcissists, they view you like the narcissist. They recreate everything. They'll project the things that they've done to you, the hurt, the pain that they projected from other trauma, things that they've experienced. They'll put it on you, and then they'll break you down, and they'll use, that experience with you to better themselves, right? And this is why you'll feel like a victim in the moment. You feel like someone betrayed you, someone backstabbed you, because you will feel like maybe I did something wrong, and you'll reflect on the things that happen. You'll reflect on everything that happened. You'll even talk to other people and you'll tell them, what did I do wrong? Maybe I shouldn't have done this. Maybe I shouldn't have reacted here, right? You'll even blame yourself. You'll try to talk to the narcissist. You'll try to convince them that you care about them. You'll try to convince them that you're not the bad person in their life. So you can literally rationalize, go step by step, trying to come up with a solution. And it's almost impossible because they're trying to tell you who you are. They're bringing up your past and bringing it up into situations that don't even matter. My own brother told me, he said, because he turned on me. He can't tell me one thing he's ever done for me. And I don't even care about that. I wasn't seeking nothing from him. You don't even seek nothing from these people. They ain't got shit to give you or do for you. Not even on an emotional level. You realize that they never even knew you. They didn't really know you the way they thought. They just looked at you like, you're just my sister. Right? It's like, no, there's no emotion towards their sibling. There's no emotion. If you do something to them, it's the end of the world, But they could do whatever they want to you and get away with it. They can behave badly and get away with it. They can do things, where people are aware of their actions, and they're so caught up with how the narcissist looks and their image, or them being a man when you're dealing with narcissistic women, that they don't care about the narcissist recreating your truth because they just want to be around them. They don't care about making up lies and hurting you and bullying you, adults and little kids with the emotional intelligence of a child. They're worried and consumed about their own pain, their own trials and tribulations, but they don't pay attention to the things that they do that recreate others' realities around them. This is why they're able to have children and then blame the people they had children with as if it didn't take two to have a child. My narcissistic brother said to me, he said, my other brother, he apologized, and he apologized to me 4 times, and it wasn't until the 4th time where I saw tears that I knew that he was for sure, sorry. You did something to me though, that's different. He did something to you, But you're taking it, you took it out on me, and now I'm telling you, okay, well, that's not how forgiveness works. That's not how forgiveness works. You should be asking me for forgiveness, but yet you recreated the whole story to make yourself a victim, and you're projecting me to be the person, my other brother, you're projecting me to be them because you don't want to take accountability because you've created a story that you're the victim to everyone. So you're telling me that I need to be crying to be asking for facts over fiction? I don't even know how these people actually lie and believe their own lies. It's psychotic. And what's crazy, it's like talking to a fucking mirror because they're looking back at you like shocked, like you're the crazy one, like you're the one recreating reality. That's the psychotic part. The psychotic part is that they can go and talk to friends and help people heal and act like empaths, and you really believe that shit. But you're telling me in order for you to think that I really want to move past things, I should be crying? When you did something to me and I'm just trying to be the bigger person because I don't feel good about all this weird shit. But I can let it go. I wanted to know that I did everything I could. And that's when I realized they recreated my reality and who I am. And they're bringing up things that don't matter. And you're telling me, oh, a lot of people apologize and don't mean it. I say, yeah, a lot of people do apologize and don't mean it. But what the fuck do I got to gain? When people apologize and don't really mean it, they got something to gain. They know they can go talk to other people and get validation. I don't got nothing to gain. I don't got nobody. You took everyone. There's nothing to gain. So you're really happy about my suffering. You're glad. You almost feel like we switch places because now you're seen as good and I'm seen as bad. When you were doing things that I would never do. Sleeping with married people, doing all kind of weird stuff that I would never even, that's not in my character. And you're trying to tell me that you're me and I'm you? That's crazy. So a lot of times, crazy, bro. They compete with you. They force their perception on who the hell you are and want to tell you who you are and are judging you based off of your background, based off of how you look, based off of what your parents did. And I realized that's what happened to my parent. The same narcissistic people that attacked me, the same fucking, Brady Bunch fake people who think they have the utmost empathy but are constantly lying, constantly playing the system, constantly getting away with crimes, stealing from banks, opening up accounts outside of the bank. I'm surprised they're not in jail. So everything that the narcissist deserves, they make an excuse for. Oh, well, I was working there for a long time. I didn't think it was a big deal. They lie their fucking way out of it. But if it's the other way around, I don't know what it is. But the empath always takes the fall. Not all the time. Not all the time. But a lot of times. And it's scary because it's like they get their karma and don't really care. They continue their behavior. Same thing they did to my mom. Coincidentally, they did it to me too. The same story my mom went through with her family, her siblings, the control. And she's someone that she enables their behavior because she doesn't say anything. She never speaks up. She keeps forgiving because that's what she was taught, to forgive them. They controlled every move, her mind. They controlled the fact that she wasn't able to get certain knowledge in life. They kept her a child. And when she felt like she needed love, she got into the wrong things, and guess what? They pass that on generationally now to your children, because now they're doing the same thing. You're disobedient, they're sending you away. They got you over here, they got you over there. They're telling you how you feel about your parent. Oh, we're gonna put you over here because you don't get along with your mom. Bitch, I get older and I'm like, why don't I get along with my mom? Like, why not? Who put this shit in my head? I finally get it. But by then it's too late. Because since you were a child, they were planning your destruction. They were planning the control. They were planning your every move. They even came as an angel, as a savior at once. Until they flipped, until you disappointed them, until you didn't do as you were told. Now, the reality they've created for you your whole life, your parents' life, now it's passed on to you. When you're young, they're already picking, okay, I always felt sorry for him. I always, now they're picking and choosing. They already knew, hey, this person, I'm going to look out for them. I'm going to go over and beyond for them. I can train them to be one of our kind. They will separate siblings way before you even realize, way before you're even, and they do it in a way where it's like, we can't talk about these things because these things sound crazy. They know, hey, kids are out of limit, you got to keep them innocent. You got to, but they'll show you who they really are. They'll reveal themselves. They'll disguise jokes. But they're slowly trying to break you down to build that reality that they feel like you should have. You're going to school, they're already wishing on your downfall. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. They start questioning you, making you feel weird. They don't want to show up, or they show up, but you could tell they don't care. When you call out to them, when you feel like you need guidance or something, they redirect it. They redirect you somewhere else. They're like, oh, you don't get it. Oh, you don't have the tools. You don't have the keys, Sway. You don't have the keys, my boy. So they redirect your destiny in so many ways because they didn't give you anything that was fruitful. And a lot of times what they did is they love bombed you, and you accepted their gifts not knowing it was going to come with a prize, because later on they were going to say, look at what I bought you, but I bought you your first car. You'll try to seek some type of humanity from them, like, why can't they see that these things are affecting me? They look at it like you're trying to victimize yourself. They're like, you're trying to be the victim. You're trying to make me to be the reason why things didn't turn out the way you wanted them. You're trying to hold me accountable, but I didn't do anything. Right? They recreate what happens even while they're with you. They're talking to their friends, their family. They're recreating events that happened. They're putting the blame on you. Some of the things that they did, they say that you're the one who did these things. And it's almost crazy because when they're defending themselves, when they're expressing themselves, they make up lies. And there's gaps in their stories that don't make sense. There's things that they leave out. And when you try to tell them the whole story, everything that happened so that they can understand where you're coming from, it's almost like that didn't happen. It's almost like they're looking at you like you're a liar. And what's so shocking about this is that they'll look you in your eyes and lie. And you're like, how can someone just look me in the eyes and really be lying? How can someone be so passionate talking bad about me to other people? How could they be so passionate, like they're really hurt, like they're really offended? How could they not look at, they can point out things that you've done. I've had narcissists, make excuses for their behavior and try to justify me as being this bad person because of something I did when I was in middle school. And I'm like that's supposed to be my character. Like that's who I am. And you realize, right? Some of these people, they're your family, the people closest to you. And you realize that these people don't even know you at all. They'll accuse you of doing things that you've never done. They'll judge you for living a certain type of lifestyle. And then, when they leave and they've did the damage and now they're afraid, they don't want to get close to you. They discard you. They recreate what happened. They got everybody fooled. They believe their own lies. You almost think like, is this person, do they know that they're lying? Do they know that that's not even what happened? It gets to the point where they recreate things where they believe their own lies. And now when the person who was victimized, or you feel like you're paying for a crime that you didn't commit, or you're paying for a crime that you feel like wasn't fair, they'll act like the crime wasn't what you had to pay, the consequences of that crime. They act like it wasn't enough. They feel like you should have suffered more. It's like you already suffered and they want you to suffer more. It's like it doesn't stop. It's like they want you behind bars. They want you in a mental hospital. They want you to they want you to drown. Right? It's like they want you to die. It's almost like that's how big their hate is for you, where it's like they feel so offended by you that they feel like whatever pain you're feeling, it's not enough. It's almost like they never even knew you at all. It's almost like you're looking at a stranger and you're thinking of all the times you were nice to this person, all the times you were good to them, and they don't care about that. They feel like they need to be validated. They want you to accept their version of what happened, right? So you put yourself in these people's shoes. You think about their trauma. You think about the things they were experiencing, what might have made them trigger. What might have been a trigger for them to behave the way they behaved. Sometimes you feel sorry for them even because you're like, they didn't know no better. Or maybe they were young. They weren't aware of certain things. Or they were judging you for certain things. And then later on in life, they're doing the same things they judged you for. And they're treating their friends and the people around them better than they treated you. And when they get around these people, they make good relationships with others because they've put themselves in a state of mind where they're the victim, and then they over exaggerate the situation. It's almost like they never knew you at all. It's like they don't know your heart. It's almost like you're a stranger to them. They put themselves in a state of mind where they're the victim, and you can't believe it. So you try to rationalize, you try to, you try to think about what you could have done different, or what you can say to touch that person, or what can you, how can you come out of these situations with, even if we part ways, how can we respect one another and respect one another's suffering? Because it almost feels like they took out their own suffering on you. And sometimes you understand their lifestyle. You understand the things that they've went through, their traumas. They fed off of you. They got supply from you. They turn people on you so that no one is there to help you. No one is there to love you. Meanwhile, They have access to people. And now you're viewing certain people, you're viewing the flying monkeys as narcissists, right? You're like, this person is talking bad about me for no reason. This person is painting me to be the villain. All these people are jumping on the narcissist defend, pointing their fingers at you, gang stalking you, sabotaging you, taking the people closest to you and taking them away from you, and feeding people lies, things that didn't even happen. And no one believes you, right? No one believes you. So you can cry. You feel like you're not being heard, so your voice might get a little loud. You're trying to tell them, I understand what you're saying, but this is where I think you went left with me because this didn't happen. Or this is where you went left with me because you're recreating something. You're recreating a character where I know that's not who I am. I'm very self-aware of who I am. You're recreating things where, to me, it's like you're blatantly lying because I remember everything that happened like it was yesterday. But they don't want to hear it because they've already recreated that story. They've already told that story many times to the point where they believe their own lies. You'll negotiate with them. You'll tell them, I understand you're hurting. I understand you went through this, you went through that. You might have not had the parents that you wanted. You might have not had the life you wish you feel like you deserved. These might have been triggers. It's okay to feel jealousy. It's okay to go through different emotions. It's okay to feel anger. I understand that maybe both of us both of us were consumed with our own lives. I understand that, but I want to make peace. I want to make peace because I don't feel good. I feel like I did something when I know I was there for you in a way that you weren't there for me ever. Sometimes you want to make peace because you feel like your family has been torn apart. Sometimes you feel like these things aren't things that we should stay mad about. Sometimes you're waiting for them to apologize to validate your feelings, and guess what? It never happens. And the years go by, the months go by, and it never happens. If anything, it gets worse because now people don't even remember what happened. They just remember that they don't like you, that they hate you. They only remember what they want to remember. They only make excuses to why they have eliminated you. And then people say things, right? People say things, the flying monkeys say things, and then you react. And the moment you react, what do? They all start running together like roaches. They all start getting together like roaches because you reacted. And it's almost like they turn the empath violent to a certain extent. You become angry. You become, irrational, right? The narcissist is very calm. You know they're lying, so now your voice is getting louder. Now you're trying to express yourself. You're hoping they know you're hurting. You would think that they can see that it's something that affects you so deeply, the betrayal, that now you get emotional. And the moment you get emotional, they're going to say, oh, you're over talking me. Oh, well, let me talk. They want to be so calm, right? They want to act like this is how adults supposed to talk. They act calmly while they're telling lies. So now you're trying to defend yourself. You're like, that didn't happen. And then the narcissist is like, well, that didn't happen either. And it makes you feel like you're crazy because you're like, I remember what happened. And you'll tell them, okay, well, you talk. I'm sorry, I'm getting emotional, but you're triggering me. You talk, go ahead. Well, and all they can tell you is what you did to them. That's all they can tell you. When you try to get into the details and you try to get into the nitty gritty of what actually happened, you're not going to get it. You're going to hear another lie. You're going to hear another lie. And it's hurtful. I've never shared this on my channel, but I've shared, about my narcissistic brothers and just the dysfunctional stuff that happened in my family. And one of my brothers had got on drugs. And me personally, I never knew how people acted when they were on drugs, right? When people are on drugs, I didn't know how people behaved. So when it happened, my first instinct was to believe my brother. You know what I'm saying? You believe your sibling because you don't know what's going on in their mind. You don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. So when they would say things like, the neighbors are following me. The neighbors are jumping on a roof playing games. I'd be hearing them running across the roof, things like that. I'm like, why would they do that? I'm in here like wondering, what the hell? Why are they doing this? Right? The moment the behavior started getting weird, like him waking me up in the middle of the night, knocking on the door and mad because I wouldn't open the door, and now he's breaking my door, he's breaking my window to get in. He's dragging me out down the hallway by my leg, choking me out of my sleep, chasing me on the street with cars coming. People are hopping out of their cars, defending me. Hey, leave her alone. Oh, that's my sister. Oh, that's even worse. She your sister. That ain't even your woman. That's weird. Right? That type of trauma that I went through. And I don't speak much of it. And I'm not angry, because I also know that my brother, we all went through things growing up. So I understand how we ended up this way, or how he ended up that way, right? How we ended up in a position where there's dysfunction around. So I can't judge him for that. I couldn't be around him. I was triggered every time, even though when he changed his life, he became a preacher. I became triggered because these are the same people that will start judging you. They'll act like, when they're ready to come and ask for forgiveness because they're going through this enlightenment, you're looking at them like, motherfucker, I was enlightened and you came and shut my light off because of what you were doing. You brought your shit into my world. And now you're judging me because it's hard for me to forgive. And it's not that I don't feel like I could ever forgive you. It's just I can't be around you now. Like, I'm so traumatized from that. Like, when I see you, I get scared because I think about all the times you did things to me over and over again, right? You took out your pain on me. You wanted me to understand your pain. That was the whole thing, is that he wanted me to understand his pain. And I get it. I can't really be mad at him. But at some point, you got to understand what you did and accept that when that person is ready to forgive you, they'll forgive you, right? But when you're not ready to forgive them, guess what they do? They go to church. They act like something's wrong with you because you should have just forgave them quickly and you should have just went back to kumbaya like everything is cool. When guess what? I'm still going through trauma. So by the time you're in a position where you're finally able to forgive them, they're mad at you. They're mad at you because they feel like you should have forgave them when they wanted you to forgive them. This is why narcissists get so angry with you when they do you wrong. You know what I'm saying? When they do you wrong, they cheat, they lie, they hit you, they spit on you, they call you all kind of names, they wish death on you, they threaten you. When they do all these things, they laugh at you and go and be with the next supply, and things don't work out, and then now they want to come back around. If you allow them in, they're out to get you. just because you ignored their calls several times, or because you went days without responding to them because you were so upset for the disrespect, that by the time you say, okay, they're calling me, let me answer now. Let's see if they're really remorseful, right? You don't know that in the back of this person's head, they're mad that you didn't respond on their time. That control will consume them. And now they've recreated stories in their mind to justify them coming back in your life to play you. They're mad because it didn't work out with the new supply, and they're like, the next person I'm gonna get back with you and I'm gonna play you because this person just played me. They're constantly taking out their shit on you. They're constantly recreating their actions and what they do and their version of the story to other people. They act like sometimes they give the illusion that they're using you, that they're taking money from you, that they're just around you to use you. And you get around people, get around the narcissist family, you're confused that you could see their energy is like, you don't know the narcissist has been talking about you. Oh, the narcissist, they're giving off this illusion that they're using you. People give off this energy like there's things that were being done and said that you don't know about. And when you ask the narcissist about their behavior, what does the narcissist do? They recreate everything and they say, oh, they're jealous of us. They're jealous of our relationship. They're just mad because they're alone and they don't got nobody. They'll start recreating things. They'll act like these people are jealous of them. And here you are, maybe thinking to yourself that, maybe they are, right? But they're going off to those people saying they're using you. They're constantly recreating the story. In your mind, you're like, when they're around me, right? When you finally get confirmation from anybody, when people give you signs and red flags about what this person's about, you're questioning, why would you say that? Why would they believe the narcissist? I don't give them money. I don't do none of these things. Your version is not my reality. When they're around me, they don't act like that. We can be going out to dinner, we could be watching TV, watching a movie, and they're not giving me the energy that they're using me or they're doing something. Right? So it's hard to believe. It's hard not to believe the narcissist when they tell you that people are looking at you weird because they're jealous. Then when things start to unravel and you start to see their lies, their cheating, the truth, who they really are, they've already made up other stories about you. They've already recreated other stories and have told people that you're crazy, you're obsessed, you're delusional. Right? So they premeditate events. They're so consumed with themselves and what they want and materialistic things and sex addiction. They're so consumed with these things that they're almost purposely trying to make you act crazy. And sometimes you know what they're doing, so you don't give them what they want, right? You're like, I'm not going to act crazy. I'm not going to ask them questions. I'm not going to try to be in their business. I'm not going through their phone because I know what they're trying to do. They want me to look crazy so it could justify to others the stories that they've said about me, their excuse for using and misusing me. So you'll be calm. And what happens when you're calm? The narcissist gets angry. They'll even get physically abusive with you. They'll sleep deprive you. They'll almost force you to leave them. So that when they move on to the new supply And if you end up coming around wondering what's been going on with them, they can just make it seem like you're an obsessive person. They recreate stories constantly, and sometimes they're conscious of it, right? And sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're conscious of it and sometimes they're not. Sometimes they know they're manipulating the whole shit, and sometimes they don't even know that they're taking out their past traumas on you. Sometimes they look at you and you remind them of somebody, because that's what happened to me. You know, I went off to college. My siblings, they weren't doing anything with their life. They felt bad. They felt low. I also felt bad for them because I feel like, as a girl, I was very close to my grandmother, and I felt like it was because of her that I wanted better for myself, and I took that initiation to do things to succeed in life, right? And they didn't have that. You know what I'm saying? So this is why people say, you can grow up in the same household and everybody ends up different, and they end up different because different things happen to them, even though they were in the same household. And you're wondering why some people are narcissists, why some people aren't. And you're like, oh, but they all grew up in the same household. Certain things happen to them that didn't happen to me. Certain things we both went through. You know what I'm saying? But the problem is that no one is connecting to one another. No one cares about each other suffering. Everyone is competing with one another. And a lot of times you're not even competing. They're competing with you, and you're not even aware of it, or you're not aware that they're jealous, or you're not aware that maybe they feel you got more opportunities than them. It's like you can have older siblings that didn't get certain opportunities because your parents' finances weren't right. And then, the business evolved. And then later on, now your younger sibling is able to get the fruits of that labor. And now there's that secret rivalry between siblings, right? Because now they're the golden child, and you feel like, hey, I had to take care of my siblings. I had to do this. And now your sibling is looking at you like you're the narcissist, because they feel like you're hating on them, and you should just be there, and you should be a grown-up about it, right? So people don't care about people's emotions, and that's where that narcissism stems from. And people will ignore it, and the narcissist will seek supply elsewhere. They'll seek other people to heal them. They'll seek other people to save them, and they will turn around and make it seem as if you weren't, it's almost like they never really knew you. So to them, it's like, and it's vice versa. They feel like you never really knew them, or you didn't really care about their pain, or you didn't really care about their struggles. You could be in the same household and everyone's in their own little world. So, when I came home, after I finished school, everything had changed. Everything had changed. My brother was on fight or flight because he had been dealing with my brother on drugs. He was on fight or flight. I wasn't. I was like, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, just finished school, just graduated. I was cool. And when my brother went to jail, it was just me and my other brother. He's telling me he's crazy, he's on drugs, he's doing this, he's doing that. But I couldn't understand, right? It's like I couldn't put myself in his shoes because I don't know how people act like when they're on drugs. I could just listen to him. And because that's my brother, right, that he's speaking about, I'ma always view him in my mind like my brother. So it's like he almost can't do no wrong. It's almost like I felt sorry for him, right? It's like, you're laughing, you're telling me, oh, he's nuts, he's crazy. Look, I recorded him. Look, he's losing his shit. He's crazy, right? You're not doing nothing to help him. you can't help him. You feel like you can't do nothing to help him. You got to want to help himself. But you're slandering him to everyone. You're slandering him to me. So I'm thinking to myself, I got to do something. I got to go visit him and see how he's doing, So now that this, my brother's on fight or flight, he's doing things, right? He's young. He's doing things. He's bringing different women, different girls to the house, right? Some of these girls are kind of like too disrespectful, walking around half naked, smoking cigarettes, being weird, acting like, this is their house type thing. And I'm walking into the room. He's playing guitar with his friends, and they're all half naked. They're all not half naked. They were naked, covering their privates with the guitar. And one of the friends was recording, like they were trying to do a video go viral, whatever the case, right? But I thought it was so disrespectful. I'm like, damn, your friends they feel comfortable. So I realized, there was no structure. There was no structure, and he viewed me as, what he saw, when I was a kid, where the age gap, he's my youngest brother, so the age gap is different. So he viewed me as the same person, but I realized he didn't know me at all. He didn't know the new version of me. He didn't know that little girl, like, and a lot of times, a lot of the fights that I got into, I was being bullied by Narcissists, and he was like, weren't you getting in a lot of fights? So he was trying to compare himself to me to justify all the shit that he was doing. And, when he saw me taking up for my mom, because I started to see how he was very disrespectful, like if she told him, she been here for like a month, like she leaving cigarette butts all on the floor, and she's bringing this to his awareness, he feels like I'm putting stuff in her head. And I'm like, I'm not putting stuff in her head. This is what she's saying. This is what she's telling you. And while she's confronting you in front of these women, different women you bring in, even the women get uncomfortable, and they're like, hey, your mom, she said you gotta go. And he's sitting here, oh, my mom got psychological problems, my mom's on medication. And I'm like, that's no excuse, that's like abuse. You're abusing your parent, you're abusing their love, you're abusing their trust. Because, my mother wasn't the type of person that withheld us from having people over or having friends over or anything like that. It was that you're taking advantage. You're having sex loud in the room, is banging against the wall. So these people will live wrong, and then they will twist the story once they feel like, you're not putting up with their lifestyle, or or they're judging you for your lifestyle, right? When a lot of times, even with like the narcissist relationship, they don't understand what it's like being in a relationship with someone for years. They've only been from supply to supply to supply, and have left the whole baby behind. And it's like, at what point do you focus on your life? You know what I'm saying? So a lot of narcissists, their problem is they don't focus on their life, and they realize the empath is, you're not focused on, you're not as invested. You're there for people, you're there for the people that you love and things like that, but you're not invested to the point where you're sacrificing everything you got for someone, right? So they always come and give you these sob stories about their past, their childhood, where it makes you feel like you should, it's like you want to empathize with them, but the whole time you're empathizing with them, they're recreating stories. He's going off, putting his hands on me, and I'm not used to anyone putting their hands on me. Like I said, even with the narcissist, he wasn't sucker punching me in the face. Even with the narcissist, I didn't have the balls to punch the narcissist in the face, because I'm not stupid. I know he's a man. I know he can overpower me. So it's certain things that I just wouldn't do to a man, because I don't want him to do these things to me. So he's sucker punching me, And now that I defend myself, he's became a victim. And not only that, he done called the police on me. And now he's recreated the whole story. And now all the narcissists in my family are making up lies about me. Like blatantly lies where I'm like, these people are lying on me. Where it make you feel crazy at first. You even start apologizing. And eventually it's like they just keep slandering you. They keep making up lies. They're saying I hit my aunt when I didn't. They're saying, and my aunt's going through cancer. And I'm like, how could this bitch be going through cancer and chemo and make up such a nasty lie about me just because she wants to be on my brother's side, just because she feels sorry for him? I feel sorry for my siblings too. Sometimes I feel like, the reason I got a little bit more attention is because I was a girl and they're looking like, they want the men to be strong. So it's like, what are you going to do as a woman? You know what I'm saying? What are you going to do as a woman, especially as you get older? So I feel like they were thinking about these things, and that was where that jealousy also stemmed from. But at the same time, I was happy that they were able to get the help that they needed when it came to drugs, when it came to whatever the case. I was glad. The thing is, I never wish bad on them. And I think that's what hurts about narcissists, is they put you through shit and you never truly, wished evil or bad on them. And when you do react, it's out of hurt. It's out of anger and hurt, because you're almost like, I wouldn't do that to you. It's like, I defended you when they were trying to put you in jail for being, even though you went to high school with this girl and got her pregnant and y'all went to the same school, you're legal and she's not. She said you hit her, and I'm sitting here being your sister. I'm always by your side. You're messing with married women who their husbands are coming down, breaking down the window, breaking down the door, trying to fight you, and you don't even come out like a man. So I come out. I'm being the bigger man than you, putting myself in such a vulnerable position, and in the end, you sell me out. And then you recreate the story, and then all the people you recreate the story with start making up their own stories that aren't even true. And now I'm like, oh, I gotta prove myself. I gotta go talk to these people. I gotta ask them why they're making up these lies about me, why they're recreating these stories about me. And then you spent all your time being gaslit. You spent all your time like trying to make things right, even though you're not wrong for defending yourself. You try to get them to understand why you reacted, what they did, and then all of a sudden they don't remember what they did. What they did didn't happen. And then now I'm questioning. I've been calling my aunts narcissists because they've been making lies about me. They're sitting here telling my grandmother, I'm just coming to spend the night, spend time with her. Oh, I'm scared that she's spending the night over at your house because she might do something to you at nighttime. I'm like, why are these people talking so crazy about me? So now you're trying to seek answers from the narcissistic people, like, and they're calling you the narcissist. So you're like, okay, if I'm a narcissist, whatever. Okay, let's talk about it. Let's find a solution. What really happened? But they don't want to go in depth of what really happened. They only want to talk about how you reacted. So, okay, I reacted, but why did I react? What was going on that made me react? You hit me. You were sucker punching me. You were hitting me like I was a man. You don't do that to your friends. Now you're able to go out, get the job you wanted. You had to sell me out because now people are helping you. And I'm happy for you, even though, because I know the pain and suffering we all went through in our childhood. So I'm still wishing you well. But all I need you to do is just tell the truth. Tell the truth what really happened. Oh, that didn't happen. Oh, you're trying to gaslight me. You're trying to make up stories. You're trying to be the victim. Okay, let's talk about it. What really happened? Let's talk about it. Why would I react and fight you back? Why would I react for no reason? Why would I fight you for no reason? I didn't even fight you. You fought me. But why would I fight you for no reason? Let's just be realistic here. People don't fight for no reason. What was the argument about? How did it escalate? How did it get there? Let's just answer that. He said, because you were on drugs just like my brother, right? I was like, I was never on drugs. I was never on drugs. I might have done a little weed here and there, and guess what a lot of people do? And weed don't make you delusional and crazy and make you do all these things, right? Your friends do it. You do it. You just hide it from the family. Cousins do it. They just hide it from the family. You're smoking your cigarettes, you're doing all these things, but you're hiding it from the family, right? So you're trying to tell me that I was doing the same thing? So basically, because the person that made them, be in a position where they're on that fight or flight and got them into, fight or flight mode, now they project and recreate the story of what happened to them, something that really did happen to them. This is why people believe them, because something did happen to them, because it happened to me too. We went through the same thing. The difference is you lied on me. The difference is that you were so fucking paranoid that you attacked me, because when you looked at me, you didn't see me, you didn't see me as your sister. You were looking at your brother. And another thing, me and my brother look more alike than him, right? So I almost feel like when you saw me, you saw him. And that's why you attacked. He did it. And the way he did it, it was him taking off his shirt. He took off his shirt. I told him, I don't want to fight. I said, stop. And he started taking his shirt off. He threw his shoes. He threw his shoes off. And then he started bucking up his arms and he said, come on, let's go. Let's go. And he's running up on me again. My mom's in the middle. My mom saw everything. And you're still recreating what happened, saying that I attacked you for no reason. Because it was wrong that you called the police on me. And what's crazy is that the police sided with him. And I feel like the police are just as narcissistic, because I was in shock of what happened. I'm in shock that you called the police. Now my emotions, my anxiety is high while I'm speaking to the police, and they think I'm the crazy one because they've recreated everything. And the years will go by and I'm sitting here like, this person never apologized for that. That was traumatic for me because I've never been in trouble, never gotten in anything. And I started to see that I wasn't the only one who's went through these type of situations where narcissists get you in trouble, recreate everything. They set you up. They know they're cheating. They know they're triangulating. They know that your emotions are heightened. And then when your emotions are heightened, they do things to trigger you, for you to snap. And then you're sitting there breaking a fucking window, or you're doing something erratic, and now they're blaming you for making you react. And now they say, oh, I didn't do anything. I didn't make you react. If you didn't want to be with me, you could have just left. But they wouldn't leave you the fuck alone. And it's not until they fuck you over that they leave you alone. And now they have enough fuel to keep on going. And it's crazy. And that's how they recreate stories. And then on top of that, the people they're telling these stories to believe it, and they start gang stalking. So it almost seems like, they're on the same page. They're on the same level. Like it's the same, train of thought with them. So, I just wanted to share that with you guys on how narcissists recreate things. I just, wanted to share that because the reason they do that is because they project the shit that's happened to them, and they want to drop that shit. They want to drop that load on other people. And when you're trying to tell them, you're dropping that load on me and I don't deserve it, they're on survival mode. Like, I don't care. So what? Or it's to the point where they want to make you react, and now they're recording you. They're recording everything you say. And if you have enough knowledge to watch what you say and say the right things and speak your truth, sometimes they even tell on themselves, because now they share things that they feel like are going to further put them in a victim mode, and they share things that they recorded to other people, and then when people hear it out, they know that something's not right. Sometimes they're so out of tune with reality that they reveal themselves, and over time people won't trust them. People will start to second guess them. Certain people will get to know you, the real you, and they'll be like, nah, something ain't right about this person's story. Something ain't right about their behavior, because the empath is still like, a lot of times you're still being forgiving, even though they've wronged you, because you try to relate to them. You try to relate to their trauma. You try to make excuses for them. So people know that you could see deeper. You could see the deeper parts of the narcissist, and that's why they know, it's them. It's them who make up lies, who create lies, who tell half stories. And a lot of times it's not going to happen overnight. It's like it takes years for people to finally realize. It takes years for people to see the truth, but by then the damage is already done. And that's why they won't come back, because they know you know what they did, and you know that they're aware of what they're doing, and you're aware of their gaslighting, and it's almost kind of sick. That's why you got to be careful, when people start calling people narcissists, because even narcissists themselves call other people narcissists. So I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing. I hope that this could help any of you who have went through these things, who have went through dysfunction, family, friends, the people closest to you, that would do the nastiest things. And it's all to uplift themselves and to take themselves out of the reality that they feel is hell, because they feel like they're in hell, and a lot of times they're envious of the help or the opportunities you have, and they want to bring up your past because they want what you got. So, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace. If you guys enjoyed this, like, share, comment, subscribe, and if you guys want to book a session with me, of course, my booking information is on the description. And as always, I'm sending you guys lots of love, light, peace, and your healing, and I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Love you guys. Bye.